Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Valheim guide today, all about the trader. Now you might have come across him, maybe you're having problems finding him. I've got a seed, a guaranteed location where you can go get him. You can go to any trader in any world, it doesn't have to be the one you're on. Obviously it makes it a bit easier if you do find one on your world, but until you do, guaranteed way to get him is to visit one of the seeds that I've got. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go through the items that he sells. I'm going to craft and make the hammers that he sells, including what looks to me like a blatant rip-off of Thor's hammer. It's seriously OP, you need to get hold of this as soon as possible, as well as all the other stuff, including the fishing rod, the weight belt, which will give you more inventory space, and a bunch more. So don't forget to like, make sure you subscribe for the best in survival games content. Let's go. So there's no real way to find a trader in your own world other than just maybe luck. Obviously find him in the Black Forest, that's where he lives. If you come within 2 kilometers of him, it will pop up in a bag symbol on the map. You'll notice a small thin blue shielded dome over his encampment, and no enemies can come into this area. You can't kill him or his beast, you can simply just go up to him and trade, but you can put a portal very close by. Now don't worry, you might not have these unlocked for a little while yet, but you'll need the circling cores just in case as a little heads up before you can craft these. It's definitely recommended if your trader ends up being absolutely miles away from you. Anyway, if you still can't find your trader, then go ahead and use this seed. 420, 69, LOL XD, and this is a guaranteed way to find a trader early. Once you've spawned in, head directly south. Just keep going all the way south, keeping the ocean, or where it should be a big massive ocean, on your left hand side. Now I'll sped it up a little bit, but yeah, just keep going through all the thick woods. You might come across all sorts of random stuff, but it's pretty safe. We aren't going to go through loads of other biomes to get to this one with the trader. I'm just showing you guys, there's a little clearing on the right, but you still want to kind of be in the south area, or go directly to your left and follow the actual coastline, i.e. stick to the south if you really are needing some extra directions. Eventually you'll see the Black Forest on a little island just opposite you, or big landmass, and you can cross over here without having to swim for more than a couple seconds. Once you're through, you kind of still want to just be heading south, almost in the middle of this Black Forest, still maybe keeping the coastline to the right hand side of you or to the west, but eventually you should come across the encampment just squirreled a little way. If you guys know even better seeds, give the comments a little love and show us the directions alongside what seed it will be. So you can sell your rubies and your pearls, and I'm confidently saying right now you don't need them for anything else like any crafting recipes, as I've crafted everything in the game. So go ahead and press the right trigger or whatever button it is on the keyboard to sell whatever rubies you've got on you, or them pearls. In terms of what you should be buying, the Yule hat is absolutely useless other than being a red little Christmas hat. It doesn't give you any buffs. The Diverger circlet is pretty much a head torch. It's 620 coins. It could be really good if you desperately need it to go around maybe the swamp areas looking for treasure, etc. It will just light the way, but it does take the place of one of your helmets. Now if it's still fairly early game but you've managed to get yourself enough gold coins, I would totally go for the Medjord. I've said that wrong, but who cares? It's a belt that's going to give you an additional 150 weight. You'll be able to carry a lot more ores in it. Doesn't give you any more slots, but like I said, it will give you more weight. So you'll have 450 maximum weight to carry around. The best bit, unlike the head torch or the circlet, it doesn't take up your armor space. It just goes on top of your armor, so you can wear any armor piece you want and then put the belt on top. Now if somehow you've only found the trader like I did pretty late in the game, then you might want to consider getting some Ymir flesh first. But only if you've already unlocked silver and you've got some silver ingots, quite a lot of them, so you can make the hammers. You will also need some of the Drake glands as well. So I think for most people you're going to be buying the belt first, then maybe going and getting the circlet so you can see in the dark, and then maybe the Ymir flesh. The fishing rod is obviously 350 gold, so fairly cheap. But you do need flour to get the most out of the food types that you can make, which are fish wraps. Fish on its own cooked is fairly good, it gives you pretty decent health, and it's one of the better food options. So yeah, it could be viable. If you really want to go fishing, you can go and do that. But personally, I would spend my money on pretty much everything else except the Yule hat first. especially as I said, because you need flour, and you don't get flour until much later in the game before you can really start making the best food option using the fish. And then we've got the fishing bait, which is 10 gold pieces for 50 pieces, and yeah, obviously this is just going to mean you're going to fish a lot easier. So as far as I'm aware, the Yule hat has no actual benefits. It doesn't give you any stats or any buffs, just something to wear to have a little bit of fun, maybe if you're doing a bit of PvP with your friends in teams. Now the Diverger Circlet is absolutely fantastic in terms of giving you some light. Just look how much it shines. Taking a look at this Shaman. Whoa. It's pretty cool. You can see it really glowing as well there. Definitely something useful. Keep this on you all times when you're going either into some of the burrows or the dungeons, either in the swamp. And yeah, I think it's going to help people out a lot. And so now we've got the Meganfold, which I thought was some weird mask, but it's actually a belt. That gives you an additional 150 weight to carry. It's pretty snazzy, it's pretty cool. Haven't tested it to see if you can wear it with different armor sets. Let's take a look. Let's equip all of these. Yeah, you can wear it on top of your other items. So that's really good. You can see it there, it's pretty clear. It's on top of my actual stuff, so that's good. Okay, let's go and try our fishing rod. Now, I've never actually fished before, so this will be a new experience for me. And I guess we just use the attack one, and then maybe use some bait. Well, it's done it already. It's attached the bait to the fish. Okay, didn't get anything there. So you can put it right out, okay. And every time there's a little bubble, I feel like we've got to read it in. There we go, I've got it, I've got hooked, I'll tell ya. And just keep it going. And there we go, we caught our first fish. There we go, hooked it. Just gonna let it sort of go, just see if there's any other sort of extra mini game, or if it's just a case of just pulling it in. I could have sworn I'd assumed the fish would be able to break through, but it just looks like you can just hold it and pull it up. And there's a fish. But you get the idea. I'm sure there's lots of good fish to actually catch, and maybe they'll open up more recipes. But let's just go and put this one on and see what it does when we cook it. Presume we're not going to eat raw fish. I presume it goes in the cauldron. You never know, it might be on the fire. Yeah, it does look like it's actually something we're going to have to make on a fire. And there we go. I'm just going to stick here, make sure we actually get this before it burns. Okay, there's 1, 2, and there we go. Cooked fish and fish wraps. This cooked fish is going to give you health 45, stamina 25. That's pretty big. 2 HP per tick and 1200 seconds duration. And I'm guessing that in the cauldron, you'll now be able to make the wraps. The wraps give you 60 health, 90 stamina, 2400 second duration, and 4 health per tick. That's got to make it one of the best in the game. Blood pudding maybe matches it. So it's blood pudding and fish wraps. And for the fish wraps, you only need 2 cooked fish and 4 barley flour. That's not that much. It's definitely the way to go to become a pescatarian. Does look like fishing can be used as some sort of weapon as well. Albeit not a very good one. Let's see if we can use it on a boar over here. Oh, the line's broke. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it helps with sea serpents. I know the harpoon does that job as well. But yeah, it doesn't look like it. Now, there's no actual skill for fishing. It's been long rumoured that would be something that would be there. But as you can see, there's nothing going on there. The only 2 new skills I've unlocked in ages were the pole arms and the swords. So once you've been to the trader and you want to start crafting the items you've got, Frostner will require 10 ancient bark, 30 silver, 5 ymir flesh and 5 freeze glands. So bearing in mind how much it costs to get 1 piece of ymir flesh, you're going to need 600 coins to buy the required ymir flesh just to make Frostner. You also need to be forge level 3. Now the ancient wood you get from the swamp area, just in case you haven't managed to come across it, you just chop it down with a bronze axe, I think. And then obviously the silver, you've got to use the wishbone that you get from defeating Bonemass, the swamp boss, and you find the silver in the mountain biomes. I have just done a video showcasing all the silver stuff, so go and check that out if you need more tips. And then lastly, the actual glands, you need to take the little drakes that guard all the dragon eggs in the mountain biome. Now the other hammer that you can make is the iron sledge. For that one you need 4 Yima flesh, 30 iron, 10 ancient bark, only level 2 of the crafting forge, but you do need a Draugr Elite trophy. Now you find plenty of these in the swamp biomes. So that's going to be 480 gold for that one. And I should have one just somewhere here. So let's go ahead and craft that one up. There we go. As you can see, that's pretty much every single weapon that you can make. Of course, we still have the flame metal, but it doesn't actually work as anything yet. You can't craft anything as far as I know. Now let's take a look at the hammers. And just for comparison's sake, I'm going to take a look at the stag breaker. Okay, so the stag breaker. Blunt of 26, pierce of 5, block power 15. The next one up is the iron sledge. Blunt of 55, block power 15. So exactly the same block power. The parry force is actually weaker than the stag, but the knockback is actually stronger by 50 compared to the stag breaker. Got exactly the same parry bonus and backstab, and they both reduce your movement speed by 20%. The stag breaker's got more durability on it as well, 150 compared to only 100. But in terms of blocking or using it for that purpose, so clearly the iron sledge is going to do a lot more blunt damage. It's actually not a better weapon. If you use that a lot to parry enemies, you might find it better to actually go ahead and use the stag breaker, especially with the stag breaker having a little bit of piercing damage in it too. Don't think I'm going to catch up to any deers in this particular outfit. Let's see if we can find some enemies. There's one, and bosh. Bearing in mind I'm overpowered and I'm using cheats. 211 there. If we go and find something to hit one more time, you can see it takes a fair amount of stamina. And then using the special attack on it, nothing happens. So you're using at least 12 to 15 of your stamina every time you use it. So it's more or less the same as the stag breaker in terms of stamina use. Now the Frostner is actually a one-handed weapon. So while it only does 35 blunt damage, it's still got 40 frost damage, 20 spirit damage. But the block power is definitely worse obviously than the other two. And its knockback capability is only 120 compared to 200 for the iron sledge and 150 for the stag breaker. It weighs half the weight though, and it does have 3 times backstab damage. So literally something you can maybe use to get behind enemies and just knock them out. The movement speed is half as well, only 5% penalty. So really good against the undead creatures, I'm sure. And obviously, yeah, it might still do damage against maybe stuff like the Surtling monsters. And there we go. Took him out there. 1,000 backstab or 1,000 damage there because of the backstab and my skills. So yeah, it could be really good. This could be the literal 4 sort of rip-off. Mjolnir, who needs that when you've got a Frostner? Don't at me because I've got the names of these wrong, yeah? I'm going to say it looks like it's another pretty OP weapon. Let's run up and see if I can do my special on this deer. Oh, it takes a little bit long. 647 damage compared to the swings. Actually, hitting a tree is not a bad idea because then we get to see how much area damage it does. It's 324. 679. Does take a little bit of a while to queue up, but the special attack on this is pretty decent. You just won't get any area of effect. Bearing in mind that you could also have a shield too. So just to get the full look, that's not bad at all. I think this might be the closest you're going to get to looking like 4. So I've started up a random event. Let's take a look. Oh my god, maybe not the best one to try out when I've got so little health. Oh, and there we go. There we go. That is one sort of hit on a troll. Let's try the other one. Pretty decent. 2, 3, and 4. One more. 5. Okay. Next one. Just comparison. Show you what it's like with the stag breaker. Now the Stag Breaker does have that area of effect damage on it, so it is pretty decent. And using it against these guys is maybe not the one. Although it's got a larger area effect, seems to do more damage over a wider area, it doesn't seem to be able to get close enough or do enough damage when you do hit. So there we go, that is everything you need to know about the trader. If you are wondering how to get the other items, well, the cape is the silver cape, or the one that you make with wolf stuff. So you're going to need to go and get silver as well as some wolf fangs. And then the other stuff with the padded linen, cuirass and trousers, that actually comes from getting dark metal and also picking up flax, which you find in the plains biomes alongside that dark metal from goblins. So pretty hard, pretty tough stuff. Again, I've done a guide for it. Go and check it out. It's the best weapons video if you want more details. And there we go. Any other tips about this stuff, let me know. But definitely this hammer's OP. You put this with a decent shield, it's going to wreck things for you massively. And even the one below it is really decent as a getting rid of lots of mobs coming towards you. It still does a decent area effect. And I would say on balance, yeah, it obviously is a bit better than the Stag Breaker. So until next time, Ratbags, laters.